The Labour Party's governorship candidate, Chief Dr. George Moghalu, is pointing fingers, accusing Governor Chukwuma Soludo and his Commissioner for Women Affairs of launching a political attack against his running mate, Mrs. Ifeoma Veronica Okaro, just days after unveiling. The ASATU, a woman's wing, issued a sudden vote of no confidence to her. Some would say it's a coincidence, but really, is it? As Ms. Moghalu doesn't think so. He, of course, is calling the move disgraceful and politically motivated. Well, joining me on the program right now is the governorship candidate of the Labour Party, Dr. Moghalu. He joins me virtually from Abuja. Thank you for your time, sir.
Much for having me.
All right, it's also great to have you. I mean, maybe we should just get this out of the way before we move, into what I call it the political workings right now in Anambra State. You are pointing accusing fingers at the governor of the state, Governor Soludo, of intimidating your running mate. Why is that?
Why wouldn't that be? When she was elected the chairperson of the town unions, the women wing of the town unions, and coincidentally she gets identified with us as my running mate for the November 8th elections, and so immediately, so suddenly, for no clear reason, you find the Commissioner for Women Affairs stage managing an arrangement to pretend to remove her from office. There are basic questions you ask. Why the coincidence? All the accusations that leveled against her, you must provide somebody an opportunity for the person to answer the questions you raise. Why the coincidence? Why would it happen today and in a matter of 2-3 days you arrange a kangaroo gathering to say you are passing a vote of no confidence on her? For every organization that has a constitution, there are laid down ways or principles through which an elected officer of such an organization can be removed. The basic question you ask is, did they follow due process? And the answer is no. So you find out that they are worried as to the fact that such a person, contrary to their expectation, decided to join the Labour Party and be the running mate in the elections from a turf they had already assumed is under control, under lock and key. But most unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So we stand on very strong grounds to accuse them of trying to intimidate her because she did not follow their routes, because she refused to work with them, because she decided to work with Labour Party. So basically, if you look at the circumstances surrounding their action, you will agree with me that there was a strong attempt at intimidating her.
Well, aside the vote of no confidence, which of course you have highlighted as a pretty much strong reason for intimidation, have there been any form of physical harassment to your running mate?
No, nothing of sort. Nothing of sort. There's no physical harassment to the best of my knowledge, except if I ask her to find out.
All right. In terms of her personality, I mean, how would you describe Mrs. Okaro, particularly when it comes to her leadership, what I call it strength, in handling, even this organization that, is for women? Would you say that there have been issues, around her personality, and why did you even decide to pick her as your running mate?
She deserves of the position. She's very qualified academically, experientially. She's very, very qualified. Here you are talking about
George Moghalu is the Labour Party governorship candidate for Anambra State. Okay, we have him back.
Secondary schools in the state. She was a principal special grade that superintended over DMGS. And anybody who knows DMGS knows that it's a school of very high repute. And she was principal special grade there. And she served creditably before retiring. This same government found her worthy, and she was appointed the chairman of, I think, the public, what's it called, the school system. She was appointed chairman of that, and she served creditably there. And then town unions met, and then she was elected. Women of town unions met, and she was elected as their leader. She was elected as the chairman or the president, whatever title that they go with, of the women's wing of ASATU, which is the Anambra State town unions, so Association of Town Unions. So she's somebody that has the pedigree, that has the credibility, that has the qualification, and who will add value to the ticket. So that's basically the reason why she was nominated and chosen to run with me.
All right. Well, just before we get into the core of the issues, let me just ask you generally, looking at the administration of Governor Soludo so far of Anambra State, we know that he has introduced some pretty much bold reforms in the state, part of which, even though it's eliciting quite a number of reactions, he has chosen to challenge, according to some cultural, what I call it, practices that may be being practiced by these individuals that have been arrested, have been found questionable. I'm talking about, you know, a sort of, for want of words here, not entirely, but crack down on, say, maybe some questionable native doctors and all of that. How would you rate his administration so far?
Generally speaking, they've done their best, and I think their best is not good enough. Like, I try to create a scenario to be able to explain my thinking or my assessment of the administration. If you get into a room that is pitch dark, and then you come in with candlelight, there is light. If you come in with a 40-watt bulb, there is light. If you come with a 60-watt bulb, there's light. If you come with a floodlight, there's also light. The illumination is higher. So it's a question of what do you really want? Do you want high illumination, or you just want light? So for me, they have done their best, and the best is not good enough. There's quite a lot to be done. And let me take in specific terms the issue of native doctors. I believe very strongly that traditional religion and practices should be allowed to thrive. However, if there are people who are not following the norms, people who are not doing what is right, please let there be thorough investigation before you punish the wrong person. My position is that any native doctor or any traditional healer who is involved in any practice that is untoward, a practice that is not acceptable to us, a practice that encourages, how do I put it, dishonesty, distrust, creates problem in the society, such people should be taken into custody and charged to court and prosecuted for whatever offense they may commit. And that is my position.
I'm sorry to...
There must be thorough investigation to be able to determine actually who is doing what is wrong.
Okay, I'm going to come in here. You said there must be thorough investigation before people are picked up. Are you saying that so far that is not the case? People are not, there seems to be no investigation. People are just perceived to have broken down and then just picked up. Is that what you're suggesting, sir?
Yes, but I have a feeling like that there's no thorough investigation, that actual work has not been thoroughly done. There is a need for thorough investigation, because you must provide an opportunity for the people to present their own case. You must give them that opportunity. There must be thorough investigation. There must be due process before somebody can be charged to court and before somebody can be prosecuted, so that at the end of the day, the prosecution can be successful. I wouldn't want a situation where you invest taxpayers' resources in prosecuting a case that will fail at the end of the day. My position is that there must be thorough investigation so that we can be able to separate the wheat from the chaff, so that we'll be able to separate the bad eggs, because traditional religion or traditional practice is not altogether bad.
All right. We'll go on a quick break, Dr. Moghalu. Once we return, we'll definitely dig deeper into the politics in Anambra State and some of the major issues that are affecting its residents. Do stay with us. We'll be right back. Many thanks for staying with us. I still have Dr. George Moghalu, is the Labour Party governorship candidate for Anambra State. He joins me virtually. Thank you for your time, sir, and thank you for staying with me. Well, let's look at the issue of insecurity in Anambra State, or generally in the southeast. I mean, you are running for the top job in Anambra State, the position of the governor. Insecurity is a major issue. How would you address it differently?
There are a lot of ways to do this. You know, I have said it time and time again, and let me repeat it since I have this opportunity. They have failed completely in addressing the issue of insecurity. And that is why some of us, we keep wondering, when they talk about economic growth, when they talk about development, I don't understand how you can talk of economic growth or sincere development in a situation of absolute insecurity. The situation is so bad that no sane person, I don't think there's any sane person who would want to invest in an insecure environment, because I don't see a person coming to bring his or her resources into a situation where he or she is not even protected or sure of his life the next day. So as far as I'm concerned, they have failed completely in that regard. And to address it, you must look at insecurity from both the kinetic and non-kinetic perspectives. There are basic things that can be done. I agree that poverty is a key element in addressing the issue of insecurity. I agree to an extent. But the point is that there are basic things that can be done. Like I said, we must look at proper collaboration between the police, the army, and all security agencies, and even the vigilante. And I have said it, that by the time we take over government, the first thing we are going to do in this regard is to identify, document, train, equip, and remunerate properly the vigilante. In every local government or in every community in our state, there is a vigilante. It is important that we document them, we train them, we prepare them well, we equip them well, and then we build our vigilante to such a point where it will become attractive for even young people to apply to be members of vigilante. You pay them well. You get them properly equipped. In a situation where there is one they have in Anambra State today, a security outfit, we have people who are not trained are parading the streets armed. And they are causing more havoc. In fact, we are having as much problems of insecurity as much as we are having with those who are brought in to check the issue of insecurity. The other day, a lady was killed in my local government, particularly in my town. Okay, while driving, waiting for traffic light to pass her, she was killed. And who did the killing? It is one of those who has been assigned with the responsibility of providing security. There are many, many instances we have in our state. And these people are not doing, and government themselves have not properly trained these people. Government have not equipped them. Government have not prepared them for the challenge of addressing this menace that we are faced with.
Okay, I'm sorry I need to come in here. I'm sorry.
Reorganize in complete terms our vigilante services. I now have to build a better.
I'm sorry to interrupt your line of thought, but you keep emphasizing. Hello? Yes, if you can hear me, you keep emphasizing on training and ensuring that they are better equipped. You know, of this, will I call it community vigilante? Yes. We know that there's something of such arrangement, the Bubiagu, for instance, which is a community-based security group in Anambra State. Are you saying that these individuals are not properly trained or are not even properly paid?
They are not. They're part of the problem. They are a major part of the problem.
They're part.
You call now, a major part of the problem.
They are part of the problem. How? How are they part of the problem?
People identify. Hello?
How are they part of the problem?
Hello?
How are they part? Okay.
there are many instances of people who have been killed by this battle. They are not properly trained. It's a clear fact for everybody to see. They are not properly equipped. You see them moving around with old Sienna buses. That shouldn't be the case. These people should be properly documented. These people should be properly trained. These people should be properly equipped. And these people should be properly remunerated. In the course of equipping them, you teach them properly. You provide them the equipment they need to be able to do the job and do it properly. You get sound vehicles, sound people, and interact them. This is an era of technology. We have to invest in technology to be able to address insecurity. We have to install CCTV cameras across the state to be able to track these criminals. We have to invest in intelligence gathering.
All right. Another issue.
We can live to be able to intentions may be. We can deal with it at the source.
Now,
we have to invest in education, in getting our people educated. We have to invest in training our young men, these ones that are coming out of the university and there is no provision for their engagement. You are joining a bank of people you can use for indecent things in the state.
Now, talking about, sorry.
For these young men and women,
sorry.
Out of the universities.
Yeah, if you can hear me, sir, please, just a minute. Just a minute.
And that is why we said we're going to invest in. Okay.
Just a minute. Talking about investing in the state. I mean, Anambra State has, in the country, one of the highest amounts of billionaires. Some would even say per square meter, right? But many of these individuals don't even have their businesses in the state. So you are talking about investing in the state. I mean, what do you think can be done to attract investors? I'm with you.
A good number of them are not staying again in the state. A good number of them don't come home anymore.
So how do you think that can be differently addressed?
It can be differently addressed because if you address the issue of insecurity, you create an environment for them to come. The moment you restore the confidence of the people in their government, you address the issue of insecurity, they will come home. They will come to invest here. A good number of people have moved their investments out of the state.
All right, let's.
Bringing them back is not an issue. The important thing is that you must do what will make them come back. And for you to do that, you must create the enabling environment for industry to grow. And how do you create this enabling environment? You restore their confidence in government through good governance and accountability and transparency. You address the issue of insecurity. The moment these issues are addressed, they will come home and invest.
All right, let's move away from that slightly. Let me ask, what is your position on what we are seeing around the person of Nnamdi Kanu? I mean, what's your take on all of it, all the politics we're seeing around it?
My position about Nnamdi Kanu has remained consistent since he was arrested. My position is that the government should please look at it for a
I think we're having a bit of connectivity issues with Dr. George Moghalu. Is the Labour Party governorship candidate, for Anambra State. Okay, we have him back. Dr. George, I might need you to take your response again. We lost you. So what is your position? Please take it again. We didn't get that.
No, what I'm saying is that my position with regards to the issue of Nnamdi Kanu has remained consistent over the years. And my position is that government should please release Nnamdi Kanu. Look at it through the political process. They should look at a way to get all issues resolved and get him released so that he can participate in the general reconciliation, so that he can participate in the development of the Igbo nation, so that the peace we are looking for can be immediately restored. I align myself completely with the position of Ahaneze, appealing to government, whatever it will take, whatever may be the case, let them please release him.
All right. Before I let you go, sir, you talked about creating an enabling environment, and part of that you also talked about education. You talked about youth empowerment. Okay. Did you get my question, sir?
Yeah.
Did you? Okay. You talked about creating an
not.
Okay. So you talked about creating an enabling environment. Part of what you highlighted is empowering the youth. You talked about education, healthcare, and all of that. But I'm going to stay with the young people of Anambra State, the youth. What do you think can be done differently to ensure that young persons have a hope in Anambra State for the future? And they don't feel that maybe their destiny lies in urban areas like Lagos.
It's a change process. By the time you look at the education curricula today, you find out that there is a need for us to lay emphasis on technical education. As we plan about educating these young men and women, we should also think of where to apply their knowledge. Like I said, if we look at our party manifesto, we said we're going to invest a lot in agriculture. The agricultural value chain can create a massive opportunity for employment of our youth. And that is why we are going to invest in agriculture. We are going to look at skill acquisition. So we start early through technical education to get people, even if you go to university, even if you must have a skill that can make you self-employable, so that you can even be the employer of labor instead of being looking forward to being an employee. So there are a lot of ways through which these young men and women can be engaged so that they can be useful to themselves and useful to the society. Because we must address the issue of unemployment at the root. The moment we are able to do this, we have succeeded in denying insecurity, we have succeeded in denying even living their source of recruitment.
All right, before I let you go, your final...
In this era of IT,
okay.
In this era of technology, there's a lot we can do to empower our youths. To get them fully engaged.
All right. My final question to you, sir, is, what would be your message to Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra State?
You know, my Bible tells me that at every point in time, I have a responsibility to pray for everybody in office, everybody in a leadership position, be it president, be it vice governor, senators, House of Rep members, anybody who is holding a responsible position in government should be prayed for. And that's what my Bible tells me, and I pray for him as my governor as at date. But he knows that there's quite a lot of improvement on the much they have done.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for your time on the program. It's been a pleasure having you. Dr. George Moghalu is the Labour Party governorship candidate in Anambra State. It's been a pleasure once again, sir. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure, Dr. Thanks for having me.